Southampton's recruitment this January has been highly unusual. It deserves your attention. The club have signed 4 different players from 4 different countries, with none of them for definite speaking clear English, and they range from 20 to 30 years old. So let's break down the moves and see how they fit in. Let's start simple with Mislav Orsic. The Croatian 30-year-old joined for around 6.8 million euros, and thanks to my watching of Croatian football over the last couple of years, I have a pretty good idea of what to expect from him. And the simple stats are good, of course. He has 20 non-penalty goals over the last season and a half, even if his shot location probably needs to change in the Premier League. But in the box, this guy is lethal. While he is a talented dribbler, Orsic's instinct in dangerous areas I find is to take a touch, then either finish or cross straight away. This should suit Premier League football well, as he could play off a striker and finish chances in the box quickly and cleanly. He is a little old, but Croatian football is very technical and Southampton probably need a bit of experience. I rate the move an 8 out of 10. Now we are skipping the Argentine Carlos Alcaraz. Why? Because I'm going to be honest with you guys, I've not seen him. I'm Euro expert, not South American expert, and I don't want to lie to you and check SofaScore, check his YouTube highlights and bang on about him as if I know anything about him. So we're skipping him, we'll be honest, and we'll talk about someone I do actually know very well, Kamaldeen Sulemana. At 25 million euros, Sulemana is one of the top 3 most expensive Ghanaians of all time. At 20 years old, there's plenty of time for him to become a superstar too. He has a lot of the ingredients. He may only have 7 goals and assists in Ligue 1 since joining Rennes, but 1. The system Rennes play doesn't really suit actual wingers. They tend to play midfielders out wide in their 4-4-2. And 2, Sulemana is completing 4 dribbles per 90, or 55% of the ones he's attempted in Ligue 1 since joining, which is better than the completion rate of any top 10 dribbler in the Premier League right now. Also, Sulemana has played on both flanks, so he could fit in there for Southampton. This should take away from his fairly inconsistent finishing too, as he tends to cut inside and shoot often, and focus him on being more direct to his opposition defender. Now Southampton can create a lot of danger, especially on that right hand side, and Sulemana has some really good technique for such a young player. I'm beginning to like this move the more I back up my research, and let's not forget this is a guy Ajax were really heavily chasing. Rennes just stole him away from them. I'm going to rate it, again, an 8 out of 10. Now finally, let's talk Paul Onuachu. Yes, he is a giant at about 6'7". And yes, the 28-year-old has scored 11 headers in the league since the start of last season. And he's actually a player I've been to see live. I watched him against West Ham for Genk in 2021. And I was a bit let down. Even though he was killing it in the league at the time, I came away with some fears which have only solidified since then and since seeing more of him. Onuachu's dribbling and control of the ball when running is practically non-existent. The phrase good feet for a big man just doesn't apply here at all. I also think his link-up play is actually a bit lacking, and he's got a big reliance on his right foot. Still, this probably suits what Nathan Jones is looking for, as at Southampton so far he has pursued a long ball style approach. Onuachu wins 60% of his headers as a striker. Now for context, Erling Haaland wins 52% of the Premier League. He's a couple inches shorter. Onuachu then will be horrible for opposition teams, and on his right foot, within 2 touches, he's really clinical inside the box. Well, even that's an understatement. Onuachu is currently on a 39% goal conversion, like lol, Haaland is on 34%. Obviously Onuachu's not going to keep up that rate of goal scoring, but for the purpose of the move, I think it's okay. I'm going to rate it a 6 out of 10. Overall, Southampton have done some interesting business.